Hi there, thanks for stopping by. In today's video, we'll be looking at how banks can build a compliant AI governance system. End-to-end regulatory framework for 2026 plus. The compliant enterprise, building an AI governance system for the 2026 plus banking landscape. I want to address head-on one of the most pressing strategic challenges facing every financial institution today. The transformation of AI governance from a theoretical concept into a live, auditable, and end-to-end regulatory framework for 2026 plus. For years, we've spoken about artificial intelligence in terms of innovation, competitive advantage, and customer experience. But today, that conversation has fundamentally shifted. We are no longer discussing if we should use AI. We are discussing how we govern it at an institutional scale. The regulatory gravity, from the EU AI Act to evolving standards from the OCC, Fed, and NIST, is becoming too significant to manage with ad hoc policies and pilot programs. Let's be clear, this is not an IT project. This is a financial services risk management imperative that demands executive leadership. The pain points of a piloted past. The core challenge for every bank right now is the deep, often invisible chasm between the speed of AI deployment and the rigor of regulatory compliance. Our institutions are built on the foundational concept of the 3 lines of defense. Historically, risk was contained, decisions were manual and traceable, and compliance could perform a post-mortem. Now, with the rapid acceleration of generative AI, the first line of defense, our business units, can deploy a powerful, customer-facing tool in days. This pace exposes a set of severe operational risks that our legacy governance structures simply cannot absorb. Specifically, there are 3 major hazards that keep regulators and boards up at night. First, we face the explainability gap. We are using complex black box models, especially high-risk AI systems in credit underwriting, fraud detection, and compliance screening, that make critical decisions. When a regulator or a consumer asks, "Why was this loan denied?" the answer cannot be, "The algorithm said so." Our inability to provide clear, traceable, and legally defensible explanations for every decision is a direct and severe regulatory pressure point. That naturally leads us to the second hazard, the data lineage crisis. AI models are consuming vast, often fragmented data across legacy core systems, cloud platforms, and third-party feeds. If you cannot prove the provenance, cleanliness, and bias testing of your training data, if you cannot establish perfect data lineage, your model is non-compliant by design, and you are simply building risk directly into your balance sheet. And finally, we must address the third-party vendor blind spot. Many of the most powerful AI tools are acquired from external vendors. Yet, in the eyes of the regulator, you are ultimately accountable for that model's impact on your customers. Outsourcing the technology does not outsource the risk. The lack of standardized auditability and transparency from vendors is a major liability that requires immediate and stringent contractual and technical oversight. These pain points collectively deliver us to a single critical conclusion. Our existing model risk management, MRM, frameworks are insufficient for the pace and complexity of modern AI. We need to transition now, and fundamentally, from managing models to governing an entire institutional AI lifecycle. The strategic solution, shifting to compliance intelligence. So, how do we make that pivot? The solution path for building a durable, future-proof AI governance system requires a fundamental shift. A move from reactive risk mitigation to proactive compliance intelligence. This means we must stop treating governance as a final checklist item and start embedding it as the foundational infrastructure at the start of the process. This new banking AI governance architecture rests upon three integrated pillars designed to achieve that goal. Pillar 1. A unified risk and data foundation. We must first unify our approach to data and model risk across all business units. A strategic AI platform must be built on a common data governance layer that serves all models, not just individual use cases. Operationally, this means two things. We need model risk classification, adopting a standardized cross-functional classification system, similar to the EU AI Act's risk-based approach, to clearly delineate between low-risk internal productivity bots and high-risk consumer decisioning systems. Different risk levels must mandate vastly different levels of governance rigor and human oversight. And we need to establish the AI trust layer. This is an essential operational layer that tracks and logs everything: model versions, input prompts, output justifications, human overrides, and the specific training data used for a decision. It ensures that every AI-driven action is traceable to its source, providing a real-time, auditable evidence pack for regulators. This single layer replaces retrospective auditing with continuous, verifiable transparency. Pillar 2. Governance as infrastructure. To overcome the speed versus governance mismatch, which is the heart of the problem, we need to automate compliance directly into our deployment pipelines. This starts with automated guardrails. We must integrate tools that automatically scan model outputs and prompts for compliance violations, sensitive data leakage, or prohibited content before they ever reach a customer or an internal user. Think of this as RegTech automation built directly into the AI's execution environment. And crucially, we need the compliance feedback loop. Continuous, automated monitoring is essential. This is not just monitoring for performance, but for fairness, bias, and unexpected output drift. When a monitoring metric, such as an increase in disparate impact on a protected class, violates a preset threshold, the system must automatically trigger a documented human review or, in extreme cases, initiate an automatic model rollback. This, right here, is the essence of regulatory technology meeting proactive risk control. Pillar 3. Executive-level accountability and literacy. Technology and process alone will not solve this. The largest, most pervasive gap is often at the leadership level. The entire organization takes its lead from the top. We need clear ownership. The C-suite and board must assign clear, individual accountability for every high-risk AI system. Who is the named owner of the credit model? Who is the AI ethics officer? This moves beyond the diffusion of committee oversight to tangible, traceable responsibility. And we need first-line empowerment. Risk management must be pushed down to the front lines. The product managers, the developers, and the business analysts. They don't need to be data scientists, but they must be fluent in the concepts of bias, explainability, and the risk classification of the tools they use. When the first line of defense builds with a risk mindset, the entire organization moves faster and safer because compliance is inherent. Risk, warning, or compliance alert. This strategic pivot requires conviction and, more importantly, precise execution. I want to pause here for a critical piece of seasoned guidance, a warning derived from real-world failures in financial services compliance. Before you implement this, here's the mistake that could cost you tens of millions in remediation and fines. The executive illusion of compliance by removal. I have seen executives attempt to manage the risk of algorithmic bias by simply removing protected attributes like race, gender, or age from the training data. The mistake is assuming that removing the label eliminates the bias. It absolutely does not. Your models are brilliant pattern recognition engines. They will use other variables like zip codes, social connections, or transaction patterns as proxies to recreate the very bias you attempted to remove. The new regulation holds you accountable for disparate impact, not just disparate treatment. True compliance requires rigorous, continuous bias testing and mitigation frameworks, not just data sanitization. If you can't prove you've tested for and mitigated proxy bias, your compliance is an illusion that a regulator will quickly shatter. Conclusion: the mandate for a new era of AI compliance. To bring this all together, the future of financial services is one where innovation is only as fast as its governance is compliant. The clock is ticking toward the full implementation of key standards in AI Regulation 2026 and beyond. Your mandate is to move decisively from a reactive, pilot-driven approach to an industrialized, systemic framework of compliance intelligence. We are talking about building an engine where AI governance is a value driver, not a cost center, allowing you to deploy high-risk AI systems safely, at scale, and with demonstrable accountability. Now, as you can appreciate, this is a deep, complex, and evolving subject. We have only scratched the surface of the technical and strategic mechanisms required to implement this end-to-end framework across an enterprise. Be on the lookout for our upcoming membership platform, where full deep dive breakdowns, complete frameworks, and executive-level strategic guidance will be available. We will provide deep dive video analysis, executive-level frameworks, and strategic interpretation to give you the current solution path to AI regulation and compliance intelligence, all delivered in video format only. This is the level of expertise and strategy required to govern AI safely in the modern bank. Key takeaway summary. Regulatory pressure point. The shift from retrospective auditing to continuous, real-time proof of explainability and non-bias is non-negotiable for high-risk AI systems. Strategic pivot. Governance must be embedded as infrastructure, moving from model risk management, MRM, to a holistic, end-to-end banking AI governance lifecycle framework. Data foundation. A new AI trust layer is required to ensure perfect data lineage, auditable decision logs, and continuous, verifiable bias testing in accordance with future AI Regulation 2026. Executive mistake alert. Do not assume that removing protected attributes from data eliminates bias. The regulator looks for disparate impact caused by proxy variables. Next-level guidance. The membership platform will provide deep dive video analysis, executive-level frameworks, strategic interpretation, and the full solution path to AI regulation and compliance intelligence. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay informed and never miss any of our value-packed content, especially as we move closer to launching our highly anticipated membership platform. This platform will give you full deep dive analysis, complete frameworks, and the strategic guidance you need to navigate AI regulation and compliance intelligence in financial services with clarity and confidence.